Good morning, colleagues, members of the media, the executive, our executive and board members on the line who have joined us. We're very pleased that you made it to meet with us today as we have a conversation with our Director of Cricket, Mr. ENOCH NKWE. Just to say that we have our online audiences who will be asking questions and who are following this this August press conference. We request, therefore, that we put our phones on silent, and those who will be asking questions online, please put your questions on the chat box, and we will read them out and give you an opportunity to speak. On my right, I have the Chief Executive Officer of Cricket South Africa, Mr. Politse Museki, flanked by Mr. Thabiso ENOCH NKWE. Before Mr. NKWE addresses us, it is proper and most part of the decorum that we allow the Chief Executive Officer of Cricket South Africa to say a few words of welcoming. Mr. CEO.
Thank you, Sipho. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. You know, last week after we made the announcement, we announced 4 executives, as you'd recall. I was complaining to my HR manager that all the articles we noticed, only 1 paragraph was dedicated to the other guys, combined, you know. The other 4 paragraphs were dedicated to our DOC, you know, and it was actually even the same before we actually made the announcement when we were busy looking for all these executives. The only question I received from all of you was, when are you appointing the DOC? And I always say, but guys, we're looking for the CCO, CFO, CMO. You guys just didn't care about that, you know. But to be honest, I do understand. We are in the business of cricket. So I don't know, hold it against you. But I do hope that when they do study eventually next month, you guys will show them some little bit of more love, you know. Okay. Hello. Yeah. So without much further ado, I am here just to look pretty, so that it doesn't feel lonely up here. It is his party. So, ladies and gentlemen, can I please introduce Mr. ENOCH NKWE, our new Director of Cricket, to you, our very important stakeholders and the public at large. ENOCH, welcome to the company. As I said, this is your party. Everyone has been waiting to speak to you for the longest time now, you know, so hopefully you are excited about this opportunity and to actually engage with our people. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good morning to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously to the South African public, all our stakeholders, everyone involved in cricket. Yeah, this is a massive honor and privilege and a great opportunity to sit in a position where, you know, I can actually make a difference, and I'm very and extremely excited to be in this position of leading South African cricket. And I know deep down inside that and some of the people that obviously know me, I'm very, very passionate about South African cricket. It is something that I have been wanting to be in this sort of a position, so that I can have a massive influence. But it's not only just me, but the team that I'm going to be working with. I mean, and also I'd like to thank Cricket South Africa for backing me in this, you know, to be in this position. The CEO, the board, you know, the interview panel obviously played a role in this. So yeah, I'm so grateful, and I'm very excited and looking forward to you know, taking South African cricket to new heights.
Thank you, DOC. I was saying to him that I've been practicing ever since I wrote that media statement. That is the DOC. So I refuse to call him ENOCH. I refuse to call him coach. I refuse to call him anything but DOC. So should we. We will now lead our Q&A process. I'm going to be a bit unjust on this and give my lady, Hloni, she knows why I'm giving her the first opportunity to ask a question. Hloni?
Oh, Okay, maybe hi, and Colette Cloney from ENCA. Just maybe briefly, what kind of plans do you have? Is there like a 5-point plan? Thank you. Is there like a 5-point plan, a 3-point whatever that you have in mind, and also maybe for your colleagues as well? What are kind of the objectives that you have for ENOCH?
All right. Yeah, look, I don't want to divulge into obviously the details, but I mean it's pretty obvious that we have quite a lot of events coming up very very soon. So there is an 18-month plan. That's it's in mind, but also it is something that it's in the final stages because I didn't want to sort of just come in and implement certain things without having to also understand the type of team that I'm going to be working with. Yes, I was involved with the Proteas, both men and women before, so I actually do understand the space, and that's going to be the first priority, to ensure that those two teams are stable. And obviously we do have the Proteas Under-19 World Cup in January coming up. So we also need to make sure that that is very, very stable, and we give as much support as possible to all three coaches, Mark Boucher, Hilton Moring, and Dinesh as Under-19 coach. So that's going to be important, and part of my plan obviously is to engage further with the coaches and understand their needs in terms of as part of their preparation for those massive events. I mean, we don't have much time in terms of the T20 World Cup is just around the corner. So again, going into the selection panel, engaging with them a lot more in depth in terms of understanding exactly from my point of view what is expected and what I'm expecting of the team. Not only just for the T20 World Cup, but also going forward, and what are the other concerns that we can actually address and give them as much support as possible. So it is an exciting time. There's a lot of pressure, but I mean pressure is a privilege, and you don't want to be in this sport obviously if you can't manage pressure or you can't take pressure. But the 18 months plan, I mean, is pretty straightforward. Where if obviously the way we playing as the Proteas men in a test space, hopefully we find ourselves in the Test Championship final next year in June, and obviously we do have the World Cup at the end of next year as well. So there's a lot of events in the next 18 months, and the biggest thing that we want to do is give as much support as possible and strengthen the structures, not just giving that sort of support at the highest level, but also look at certain areas down the pipeline, meaning the high performance and the high performance from SAA all the way down to under-17s, and see what potentially from a player point of view, but also the coaching pipeline, because we want to be proactive. You never know what could actually happen down the line from a management point of view, from a player point of view. So we have to be proactive and ensure that all the supporting structures are there in case something happens, and we can find replacements and we can move forward. Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
Hotzoselo from Newsroom Africa. Just to follow up on what Tony asked, what type of leadership style should we expect? I mean, in rugby you see Rassie doubling up as a water boy from time to time, or will be stuck in an office sending emails and signing deals?
Look, I suppose it is a different role, and I also need to be fair to myself and to the organization and to everyone that I'm going to be working with. So I see myself a bit more agile, to be honest. As much as, yes, it is an office-based, but I'm well prepared to be very, very flexible. Hence, I said that the level of support that I want to actually give to the coaches in particular, because I understand that the coach is always under pressure in terms of performance, and the players, I got to make sure that I'm there for them. If required that I need to go into the environment, maybe just to help them from an administration point of view, then I do that for both on the men and women's side, in the high performance as well. So I don't think you'd expect me to to be one of the part of the technical team or anything. Now, I'm one that likes to actually give the space for the team and the coach, and I made it clear yesterday when I actually engaged with the Protea men's team that yes, from outside, I will be offering that support. I really want to give them their own space to operate the way they've been doing, and things have been looking great. And actually engaging with them yesterday was, it was awesome. It was a fantastic opportunity, and the team is in the right space. It's heading in the right direction. So yeah, I'm that sort of a leader that gives the people their own spaces to thrive as well, and I can only give them necessary support, not only emotionally or mentally or in any other way, but also from a structure point of view, because I think that's going to be key going forward to ensuring that both our teams, men and women, that they're staying, they thrive to be the best, and we help them in every way to continue to be the best, yeah. Because that's how I see them down the line in the next couple of years.
Thanks, DOC. Guinness?
Hi, Buletsi. Hi, ENOCH. Guinness Mastal from Proteas.
Let's try DOC.
That's the DSC. I just want to know, you've spoken a lot in the past about being very strategic minded, and you really like that side of cricket, building structures and things like that. In that sense, is this role maybe even better suited for you than a coaching role?
Yeah, that's how I see it, to be honest. I didn't anticipate this role to come so soon. But just like anything in life, you always got to be prepared for the next step in your life. You just never know what opportunities might come your way, and that's always been part of my philosophy as well as a coach. Is that tomorrow you might get fired, and the very next day there's a different opportunity elsewhere. So it's important that you also understand yourself as a person, what sort of if you're obviously in a coaching space, what sort of a coach you are, and where you could actually find yourself in the near future or later on in life. So yeah, like I said before, I'm very much grateful, and I'm very happy that I found myself in this position where I believe it is my strength. I've always coached in that way, very strategic way, from under 19, even under 15 cricket, all the way through to professional cricket. So, that's something those are the several energies that I'm going to be investing in the next couple of years. More strategic, but obviously, building a team to ensure that we all aligned. That could take some time, but from what I've seen, and not only now but before, having been involved at Cricket South Africa, we do have a team that can actually take the system to new levels. There's no doubt about that. Yes, there are small little gaps that we need to fill, but that is something that's not going to happen just overnight. There's capable people in place already, so it's all about us as a system finding that alignment to ensure that we're moving South African cricket in the right direction.
Thanks, Guinness. Thanks, DOC. Ken?
Thanks, Sipho. DRC, congratulations. You mentioned earlier your desire to make a difference in the South African cricket. You've obviously been in the position for a week, so it's not very long. But I'm sure you have thought long and hard about it. Can you just tell us some of the differences that you'd hope to make where you feel there does need to be change in South African cricket?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing, I think I'm massive on philosophy, the playing philosophy, not just the playing philosophy at the highest level. And I think sometimes people obviously, yes, it is basic. And when it comes to sport, and I think in a lot of things also in business, you got to look at the outcome. Obviously is always seen at the highest level, and the true reflection of how the system looks, it's always seen at the highest level. But one of the biggest thing I would like to actually make a difference is having a very clear philosophy from the top all the way down to the bottom, and all of us to speak the same language. Yes, we're gonna have conflicts and different challenges, but those are things that you work on daily basis to ensure that we all ultimately align to a bigger picture as a system. So, I mean, if I look at from a high performance point of view, we need to strengthen it. I mean, if you look at where globally where the game has actually evolved to the levels, we got to make sure that we close that gap and we beef up the high performance from SAA all the way down to the under 17, but also what feeds into the under 17 from grassroots all the way to under 17 and under 19 cricket, because I mean, we all know that under 19s they do have also the ICC World Cup. How do we ensure that that philosophy it's understood at under 11 cricket, for example, at under 13 cricket, so that by the time the cricketers and the coaches reach a certain level, let's say under 15, under 17, that they're ready to actually compete and win. Because if we can actually have a winning under 19, that already makes life a lot easier for those players in particular to transition into professional cricket. It wouldn't, how we see it is that it wouldn't take too long for them to adapt to professional cricket, and that also closes a gap also from professional cricket, meaning provincial cricket to international cricket. And that's going to be also the work in the next sort of 18 months to 24 months, so that we start to see even better results going forward. I mean, ultimately, we all want to win the 2027 World Cup, and we need to make sure that our groundwork is done properly now, and in the next sort of 2 to 3 years, we'll start to see the changes. And by the time we get to 2027, we actually all in a good place, have a strong base that we can compete well and obviously win the World Cup.
Thanks, DOC. Bramashase.
Good morning, DOC and CEO. DOC, my question to you is, your first meetings with Coach Mark Boucher, how were they? Were they awkward? Were they cool? Given the nature of how you left the position of assistant coach where you were working with him, and also on a lighter note, Cash yesterday made fun of you because of the team that you support in the IPL.
Yeah, look, obviously I haven't seen Mark since last August, and yeah, I mean at first it was a bit strange because it's been quite a long time. I haven't actually engaged with him on a personal level or more in person. We had a great meeting, I must say. I mean, look, I know a whole lot of people speak about there were deeper level issues, etc. Me and Mark, we do have a good relationship. There's nothing personal, and it was very evident yesterday when I met him we met for more than an hour. We actually even end up laughing, and he's also I know for a fact that he's also excited to be working with me. Yes, we even spoke to such lens as I'm actually in a best position now where we can actually even get the best out of each other, and lead South African forward, and obviously give him as much support as possible in his space to be successful as a coach, but also with the two captains, but the rest of the team. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the meeting was awesome yesterday, and I'm glad that before obviously the team left, that we're able to meet in person, because it's never an ideal way to actually meet, to phone and try and talk about the way, what's going to be the best way forward, etc. So yesterday, yeah, I mean, we all walked away with smiles on our faces and with a lot of excitement. Just like you mentioned, also with the team, we had a good brief engagement. I mean like what, 30-40 minutes, and yeah, and there's a lot more clarity now in terms of my position, because sometimes also I think the public and everybody else, they think being a director of cricket is actually being a director of Proteas, but that's actually not the case. It's being directing cricket in totality. So, and those are some of the things that we needed to clear out, and because that's the biggest thing is clarity and understanding, okay, how things are going to work moving forward. Yes, there's quite a few things that we still need to obviously unpack as a team from a strategic point of view, that the players also understand and they're well aligned. But like I think Rassi and Kesh, most of the players and the coaches that I've worked with in the past, they pretty much understand my philosophy, my thinking. So I'm excited, and I'm extremely looking forward to working with all the coaches across the board, not just the Protea coaches, but also the provincial, the pipeline coaches, and ensuring that we all aligned and we all understand where to take South African cricket.
We'll now move over to our online audiences, media online. We have our fine moderator, Alungile, who will be leading us in that segment. Alungile?
Thank you, Kuti. Good day, everyone. We have a few questions online. First up, we have Nathan Gogela. Nathan?
Thank you very much. I've just got 3 questions. I will start with the DOC. Enoch, firstly, congratulations on your appointment as Director of Cricket South Africa. You've been in the system for a very long time and understand the structures. What impact would you like to enforce in terms of the decisions? Let's also remember, prior to your appointment, you did have issues within the Proteas environment.
Is that it? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, look, issues, I mean, every environment, nothing is perfect. Nothing works. I mean, if we lived in a perfect world, then there wouldn't be so much work that needs to be done. So there's always going to be differences in different setups, and sometimes if things don't quite sort of balance out, you gotta be professional enough to accept that maybe it's better you better play somewhere else that you can also make an impact. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people have spoken about culture, and I'm happy that when I met with the 2 captains, I met with Mark Boucher before, they understood exactly where I was coming from, and I know for a fact that over the last couple of months, actually things have turned out very, very positively, which I've been very happy to see, and you can see the performances of the players, the team in general, in both red ball and white ball. The team is moving forward, and that's something that I've always wanted to see. And it doesn't mean if you have different sort of philosophies, if I may put it that way, that you gotta try and just force things to work. Sometimes you gotta be very strategic in terms of as an organization or as an individual to be man enough and say, look, I think it's better that I be placed in a different position so that we can actually continue the good work. And if there's any loopholes in any environment, you gotta be able to front up as a unit, talk about it, and figure out the best way to fix whatever needs to be fixed, and then move forward. So those issues that were there, I know that the team and the coach Mark Boucher has dealt with them. The team leadership, the player leadership have dealt with them. And they're actually in a very, very good space. And that's something that I'm excited. Hence, when I walked into the environment yesterday, I could feel the energy. I mean, also the way they engaged with the board as well, there was a lot of positive energy out of that. So hence, I'd say this week, I mean, it's been a great week for the Proteas and the board, but also the organization. I mean, Mr. Museki was there as well to engage obviously with the players, and there's a lot of positivity that actually came out of it, and we all now can start from a clean slate and take and help the Proteas obviously continue to play good cricket, but not only the Proteas but also with the system.
Thank you. Then I'll move on to Poletsi. My final question. I'm pretty sure there were many other candidates that were shortlisted. What gave Mr. NKWE the upper hand to be the ideal man for the job? And can you just confirm that officially who were the shortlisted candidates for the position?
I did say I'm here to look pretty. I wasn't supposed to answer any questions. You know what? To be honest, the panel was quite impressed with all the candidates who came through for the interviews. But Enoch was obviously like head and shoulders better than the other guys. But what made us happy, you know, all the guys who had applied and that we interviewed are within the system, you know. So it is something that's quite encouraging that clearly the system is in safe hands when you've got people like that, even at our affiliate level, you know, leading and directing cricket. You know, so it is quite exciting. I know ENOCH will continue working with those people because they are within the system in different spaces and stuff, you know. But cricket is in a good hand. It is in good hands in that sense, you know. I'm not sure if I am allowed to mention all the people who came in for the final interviews. I'll probably need to speak to my HR regarding that. So unfortunately, I can't answer that now. We are only here to speak about the successful candidate. You know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Next, we have Buyo Makoba.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody, and congratulations, DOC, on the appointment. And mine is just I think a follow-up to Ken's question, just on the image of cricket in South Africa that has, of course, made headlines in the past years. And I wanted to get your state of mind in terms of that being one of the tasks that are sitting on your desk right now, in sort of reshaping sort of the, you know, I guess the confidence that either the private sector or the supporters in general have had in cricket with everything that has been happening. Is that something that's sitting on your desk or on your desk already to look at in sort of reshaping it into a positive direction? And specifically touching on the state of confidence for the game. Where are we? How is the state of cricket in South Africa in that space? And are you going to be working on that and sort of like reshaping it further on a positive direction?
Cool. Thank you very much. Yes, I mean we kind of hide away from what has happened in the past, not only in the sort of last year, but also the last couple of years. I mean, if you look back from 2019, how we actually played at the World Cup, and some of the changes also in the system. COVID obviously played a role, but also the whole restructuring, which I think is a very, very positive sign. It's a positive thing for our system moving forward. It does obviously allow us to tap more into that sort of hidden talent, because there is a lot of talent in cricket, there's no doubt. In our schools, our clubs, from grassroots, there's very exciting things that actually are coming through in the next coming years. So it's all about us ensuring that everybody, it's well aligned and understand how to actually progress, throughout the pipeline system. And yes, it is something that we have spoken about in ensuring that we reshape South African cricket from an image point of view. It is important that we restore a positive image. Hence, that will fall into the next 18 months as part of my 18 months plan. And there's going to be opportunities. Let's be honest. There's opportunities of winning the World Cups from under 19 level right through to the men's and women's. So if that, obviously happens in the next 18 months, that will also give a lot of confidence. But we need to obviously, as much as possible, as strong as possible, to give the support that is needed to ensure that we do achieve those sort of short-term goals as an organization, as a system. So yeah, it is going to be a massive job for the next 18 months. But I'm actually looking forward to it, because once there's challenges, part of my philosophy is, with those challenges, it's an opportunity to thrive. So as a system, we can start seeing it that way, that the next 18 months is an opportunity to restore a very, very positive image, an opportunity for us to strive, to clarify the brand of cricket as well. How we're going to go about things throughout the system, not just at the highest level. It is, the opportunity will be there, and we need to take it with both hands, and hopefully it works out. One of the World Cups actually falls into our laps, and the public and everybody else, they can actually start to see the positive signs. And I know that from a commercial space, obviously the business side, Puletsi is working hard to ensure that also we all aligned. We speak in the same language on the cricketing front and the business. So Yeah, from my side, I'm actually excited, and hopefully we see those positive changes, and the whole country and everybody else can actually get behind us.
Thanks, DOC. AN?
Thank you, Kote. Our next question is from Lloyd Bernard.
Thank you very much. My question is for the DOC. Congratulations, Enoch, on the appointment. I'm just wondering, over the next couple of months, it's a really long Proteas tour in England. What are your plans over that period? How hands-on will you be with that men's team over the next 2 months? Will you be in England? If so, how long are you planning on spending there? Just your movements over the next couple of months. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. Like you said, there's quite a lot actually happening internationally, but also locally at home. So, yeah, I am planning to go over and obviously engage further with the women's team, who later today I will be engaging with them to just reconnect with the women's team. And see obviously where we can give the support and strengthen certain areas, but also with the men. Luckily both teams are going to be there, so it is in a plan to actually go across. But it's not going to be a long trip because there's still quite a lot of work to do actually at home. While we're still sort of in the off season, we gotta grab the opportunity to ensure that things start to actually come together at home before the season starts. And I mean, there's a coaches conference around the corner, and I will be involved in that to speak to the professional coaches and find the best way forward, and obviously for them, offer them opportunity to ask those questions and have robust conversations if need be. But like I said before, I do have a good relationship with most of the coaches, and it's not about just because I know them. It's not about being friends, but it's about being very professional in terms of our space and how we can actually move forward from a coaching point of view. There's also, a KFC seminar around the corner, and we'll be attending that as well. And again, it's a great opportunity to engage with the grassroots. And KFC has done a fantastic job over the years, and I'm looking forward to engaging with them further. So yeah, so there's a lot of events in a short period of time that again are great opportunities to strengthen the base in our system, and how we actually going to take the next step forward and continue to grow the system.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our last question is from Ongama Nyabi.
Hi, Enoch. My question is a bit of a two-part question. The one thing that I would like to understand, the first thing that I'd like to understand is whether you consider it part of your job to sort of build a cricketing culture and push cricket to reach areas that are disadvantaged. I'm talking about your townships, rural areas, and to such an extent where the community starts to understand or starts to see cricket as something that they can benefit from. And if you see it as part of your job, how are you planning to go about that? Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, look, cricket is, part of my job obviously is to look at cricket in totality, or holistically. So I'd like to, by the time I'm done, down the line, I'd like to see a situation where we stretch cricket to all corners of South Africa. It's a game that is the most popular game, and it's loved by everybody. We're able to draw even more talent from areas that we probably never thought would actually draw talent from. So that's something we want to do, and I'm quite fortunate that I do understand that level of cricket, and I'm going to be working hard with my team to ensure that we keep growing the game to areas that, like I said, that probably before we've struggled to reach out to. And if it means I know for a fact down the line there will be road shows to ensure that we keep growing the game, but also making people understand exactly what our plan is moving forward, and being honest, because yes, as much as there's financial constraints, but from my point of view, I totally believe that over the next sort of coming years, Cricket South Africa will actually grow financially to levels that we can keep growing the game in the right direction. So part of roadshow is, yes, it is going to be reaching out as much as possible and growing the game. And someone that also has been passionate about the game for many years, and still it is sometimes there will be opportunities for me to get my hands dirty, go down there, dig as deep as possible, and try and find the talent working together with the team. So I know there was a question earlier about is it an office-based position or not, and that's how flexible I want to be, is that I want to actually all be able to reach out, because working together as a team and coming up with new ideas and working with the corporate and on the business front, I mean, you just never know what opportunity can be offered to put even better structures, especially at grassroots. Because if we can actually keep improving our grassroots level, I mean, the talent is going to be, it will reach levels that we've actually never experienced before. So I'm excited. It's not just about the highest level, but it's all the way down to grassroots level.
Thank you, DOC. Thank you to our online media. Lest our cups overflow, I'll allow only two from the room. That will be Stuart, or three, Stuart, Brahmashasi, and Ken, in that order. Stu?
I'll wait for the mic. Hi, it's in you again.
Yeah.
You've made a lot of mention here about playing philosophy, and what the outcomes of the playing philosophy must be with World Cups and so on. Could you put some flesh on the bone there? What exactly is this philosophy that you would like to see get implemented in 18 months? I mean, we've seen England, implement a kind of philosophy that has got the public in that country very excited about how their team is playing. So just to put some flesh on the bones of this playing philosophy, what is it? And what are the tangibles that people can look forward to seeing, as this playing philosophy, I guess, is expressed by the players?
Yeah. No, thanks, man. Yeah, look, I mean, to simplify it in summary, a very, very positive brand of cricket. I've always seen us as South Africans, because we're so diversified and coming from different backgrounds. I think we bring a very strong, element to the game, and in terms of how we can actually show the world and lead the cricketing space. And I've always seen the opportunities of us, like I said before, of leading the cricketing world. But on a playing front, I mean, we've seen it in the past where when we actually throw the first punch, if I may put it that way, we've been very dominant, and that's something that we'd like to see not only from a Proteas level, but we would also like to see from obviously down the pipeline, and everyone actually understanding that that's something that we would like to do going forward. And how do we set new boundaries? How do we become trendsetters? And opportunities are going to be there for us to do that. But ultimately, every time we've been positive as a nation, we've been playing that sort of a brand of cricket, taking risks, not being afraid. We've actually, being a strong force in world cricket. And I know that other countries before have spoken obviously highly of us from a talent, but also what we can actually do in the world space. So definitely the positive brand of cricket, and how do we continue to put ourselves in position where we can actually dictate the game more often, and put ourselves also in position of actually winning a lot more often. So yes, probably months down the line, I'll be able to also just clarify it a bit more, because like I said before, I still need to engage with the coaches, unpack it even further, and obviously it will be seen on the screens and the type of players that we actually pick. And that will, selection plays a massive role in terms of what sort of a brand of cricket we're going to play. So that also needs to complement our brand of cricket from a selection point of view. And that you'll see over time, because it is something that we're going to be working on throughout the system.
Thanks,
DOC, just a word on Lisa Lee as she exits the international stage, and also maybe a brief indication of what plans do you have to try and help grow the women's game?
Yeah. Look, obviously it's very sad, because she has played such a key role in women's space with the team as well, and has played such an important role on getting the team to number 2 in ODI cricket. So we have to respect her decision, and we can only wish her very well and the very best, obviously, in the future in transitioning into the next chapter. So, but yeah, I know that the team is over in England, and it's not an easy thing to lose a team member, and whatever space they might be going into, and I'm hoping that when I'm over there that I'll be able to meet with her and also just engage, because at the end of the day she will remain part of the system in some way, and one thing we're also very big on that we're going to be driving going forward is to ensure that our ex-players, both on men and women, that when they transition out of the game, they don't transition totally out of the game. We need to actually look at areas how they can actually come back into the game, not only on coaching front, whether it's administratively, whatever role, at board level, or whatever role that they can actually play. I think that's going to be key, that we open up those avenues for our ex-players. I understand that it's going to be a lot of work, but she's been very exceptional for South African cricket, and we can only thank her for her services over the years, and wish her the best of luck going forward.
Thanks, DOC. Ken Bola.
Morning, Mr. CEO.
I can.
I just want to ask a couple of questions to each of you, and it's more on the lines of what's been out there in public debate. I think what the public questions are a bit. So, Paneti, first of all, to you, a lot of the public have sort of commented on the difference between the previous DOC, obviously a guy who played a lot of Test cricket, was a captain of the Proteas, all that stuff, and ENOCH. So could you just explain how ENOCH's going to be a different sort of director of cricket, just to maybe what the public expects, and then just secondly for ENOCH, obviously a lot of talk about the issues of the Proteas when you left, that sort of thing. Do you feel that the sort of root cause of the issue was that you and Mark are both head coaches at heart, and both you're passionate about structures and pipelines? And do you feel that at Proteas level, the sort of definition of that assistant coach role is one of the things that needs to be changed, if you like?
Okay, let me go first. Ken, you guys keep on pulling me into this. But anyway, I guess more than anything else, unlike being a CFO, and I'm an accountant, generally speaking, we are all the same. We are very boring, we are strict, we are what, because we all deal with IFRS. But this type of role, it's actually quite good and positive that there are such different personalities and individuals. I think ENOCH speaks a lot about strategic thinking, philosophy, and I guess that's his strong points, and something that impressed even the panel when we were doing the interviews, the plans that he had for cricket, not just the Proteas, as he keeps on emphasizing, but for the whole ecosystem, were quite brilliant. That impressed us quite a lot. And Graham was this big figure as well, and he was actually quite positive. But it was always going to be quite difficult to get someone like Rem as an example because he's got different strengths. And Enoch, maybe after Enoch leaves, we might need to find someone who's totally different to Enoch as well, But it's the nature of the role itself. Like, I think it's more, I don't know. I went to the Devon July for the first time ever, so there's horses for courses. I think for now as cricket, Enoch is definitely the best individual that we need, with all this transition that's happening and all the plans, all the events that he spoke about, So in that sense, I and the panel and definitely the board, but the whole team thinks that he's definitely the best individual for the job going forward. And just to finish, he definitely has the total support of everyone within the system, to help succeed in this role. Don't blush now.
I was just listening to my CEO here. Look, it is something that we, not only now over the last couple of months, but I think the last sort of 2 years, it is something that we have been speaking about and thinking about in terms of what is going to be actually the better way forward from a technical team point of view at that level. So yes, it does need obviously a bit of a review, but how I see it, I'm not saying that it will happen immediately, but the way the structure is at the moment in the Proteas setup, from a coach's point of view, with obviously Mark being the head coach and you got Justin Ontong as the fielding coach and the bowling coach, Charles Langeveld and Justin Simmons obviously is the batting coach, and then you have a performance coach in Rivash Goben. So I think that is the ideal setup. I think it covers all areas, and I think that's going to be probably the best structure for the next coming years from a Proteas point of view. And if we can also mirror that obviously in the women's space, that will be even better, because the women are actually have been playing good cricket over the last couple of years, and we need to give them as much support as possible from a coaching point of view, and that's what I believe. That's how I see it moving forward. That's the sort of a structure that we want to continue with, both on both sides, because I think it will also allow the coach to focus on doing the head coach's role, not to be too. Obviously, we have to also understand the strengths of the coach, where they lie, but it's important also that we allow the coach to be able to connect with the rest of the environment, from a player management to the technical team, the rest of the management, but also the space to engage even more deeper with the selection panel, and now obviously with the DOC in place. So as a head coach, your hands are actually quite full. And providing that sort of a technical team, I think that will free up a bit more space and can really focus on what he needs to do moving forward. And there was a question earlier, sorry, on the women side of things. We are looking into how do we even better the women's structures. There's already a structure there. In a high performance space for women's cricket, but how do we even strengthen it and make it better, not only just at sort of a higher level, but all the way down to grassroots level, and retaining our women cricketers throughout from mini cricket all the way through. So ultimately what we want to do is both on men and women have pretty much the same sort of a pipeline, from all the way from the bottom to the top. If we can achieve that, I think, that will take. I really believe that will take South Africa to greater heights, because we can't afford to take our foot off the pedal when it comes to the women's space. I know that there haven't been too much focus on it, but they're actually doing great things, and we do understand that probably in a year or two there will be a transition phase for them, because some of the experienced players might decide to retire. But the work that Hilton Moreng has been doing with the rest of the team, ensuring that they blood in some of the youngsters already who are showing great signs, it's just fantastic. So we just need to make sure that we keep supporting the coach himself, but but also throughout the pipeline. And Dinesh is doing great work with under-19s and the emerging teams. So how do we even get it even much more stronger? And because there's so much more interest in women's cricket, so that's something that we also need to be aware of, and that, I think, will give us a space to keep growing women's cricket.
Thanks, Yossi. We'll come to you, Hloni. Can we go to our online media colleagues? When I came in this morning at around 11:15, Brahmaslatsi was seated where he's seated, and I asked him, why are you early? He said, I'm early so that you could keep the time. So I looked at his face, and there was some kind of an or else kind of look. I don't want to find out, colleagues. I don't want to find out. So let's go to our online and take one question and come back to the room.
Thank you, Pote. We have one more question from Ongama Twade. Ongama?
Yes, just to add on on Ken's question about the previous DOC. Obviously, I think it's obvious that each and every DOC is going to have different objectives. But I'd like to know whether you, Enoch, there will be some form of working relationship between you and Graham, who's the former DOC.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, for the betterment of South African cricket, I think it's always important that there is some level of connection or contact, ensuring that there's continuity moving forward. I mean, we can't basically, I mean, take it away that the fact that he is one of our legends. I mean, he's the most successful cricket captain. You know, he's done great things. So there's nothing wrong to tap into his cricketing brain. And find out exactly how also he sees things from his position, and because I know that he's also passionate about the game. So wherever we can actually use him and work together, there will be opportunities obviously down the line to do that. And why not tap into his brain, and see how we can continue to actually do great things for South African cricket. So hence earlier on I spoke about that whole transition of ex-players, current players when they transition. We don't want to lose them into the wilderness. You know, we want them involved in the game in whatever capacity they can. And obviously the current ex-players, how also we can actually pull together, because the system also, we need everybody involved to keep growing the system. I mean, we do have some ex-players that are in the business world. How do we get them closer to us? So, I mean, the likes of Graham, I'm still glad that he's still involved in cricket. I mean, with IPL, and he's someone that is still based in South Africa. So I know he's only a call away, but he also, I mean, is a flight away. So there's nothing wrong to just reconnect and talk about how we can all better South African cricket.
Thank you, DOC. Last but not least, the first person who spoke would be the last.
Closing.
My question, just on the DOC, just politically, what legacy maybe does the former DOC leave, and also what lessons have been learned, given that he was the first and there wasn't that position before, but also to just can you sum up the emotions of ascending to a top position at the institution, given that you were first an interim team director, and then you were the assistant coach as well, and that sort of thing, and now you're finally at the pinnacle of these structures.
Well, legacy. So you'd recall when Graham came into the picture, it was quite a difficult time for CSA. And to be honest, even the whole period he was here, we had different challenges, as an organization. But I think for us, he was really a guinea pig for this position, because we didn't know how it's supposed to pan out. And I think, as Enoch has said, I do believe that is definitely laid a solid base that Enoch can actually build from, And I think just to emphasize what Enoch said as well, Graham is still very much involved in cricket. He loves South African cricket. So it is quite good that can tap into his brain anytime, But I think for me, I'm still quite grateful that he did basically join the organization, and he did very well, to set up like the space that we're currently on, and obviously now it's Enoch's turn to take it to even a higher level.
Yeah, look, it still at times feels surreal. It is very special. I mean, I think it's gonna still sort of take some time. I still need to process it. I mean, it's only been a week, and so much I've been involved in a space of a week, and it is something that is very close to my heart. It's something I've always strived for, and it's special. I mean, sometimes it's difficult to find the words to express the way it feels emotionally. And I'm hoping that down the line I'll be able to express myself a lot better. I mean, even in the team yesterday, it was to start off, it was quite an emotional moment, because I'm very passionate about the game. I'm passionate about South African cricket, the team, everything else. So, sure, yeah.
Great, we've come to the end of this very emotional press conference. Members of the media, executives, all of us who have been here have had that experience of speaking to the Director of Cricket after a long wait, I should say. Thank you for the patience, and thank you for coming out to be part of this, and thank you for supporting us. Thank you, CEO. For getting in there and allowing yourself to be hijacked. Thank you, DOC, for being so honest and open with the media. The media are family to CSA, and you'll get to know that we work like this. We're just one big happy family. Yes. And there will be one-on-one interviews that have been pre-arranged. The DOC will attend to them first, and then after that, you can reach out to me to have one-on-ones with the Director of Cricket. Thank you, colleagues, and good day to you.
Thank you.